Have you ever wondered why we behave the way we do? Human behavior is complex, influenced by a myriad of factors hidden beneath the surface. Did you know that 95% of our decisions are subconscious, driven by instincts and biases we aren't even aware of? This means that much of what we think and do is guided by forces we don't fully understand. In this journey through the depths of human psychology, we'll uncover fascinating insights into why we form instant judgments, feel empathy for others, and sometimes make decisions that defy logic. From the surprising power of nonverbal communication, where 93% of our communication happens without words, to the subtle influences of unconscious biases that shape our perceptions and actions without our knowledge, each chapter will unravel a piece of the puzzle. Join us as we delve into the psychology of first impressions, the science of empathy, the pitfalls of cognitive biases, and the mysteries of our brain's reward system. By the end, you'll have a deeper understanding of yourself and others, armed with strategies to navigate the complexities of human behavior in your everyday life. Let's embark on this journey together and decode the fascinating world of human behavior. Because understanding why we do what we do is the first step towards mastering our interactions and decisions. 1. The psychology of first impressions. Why they stick. Ever wonder why your first impression of someone sticks with you? It's all about how our brains work. Within just 7 seconds, we form a lasting impression of someone we meet. This happens before we even exchange words. First impressions are crucial because they set the tone for all future interactions. Dr. Alexander Todorov, a psychology professor at Princeton, found that our brains make quick judgments based on facial features. For example, we might see someone with a strong jawline as confident. These judgments are often subconscious and automatic. They help us decide if someone is friendly, trustworthy, or a threat. First impressions are also tied to our survival instincts. In ancient times, quick judgments helped our ancestors avoid danger. Today, they influence our social and professional lives. For instance, a good first impression in a job interview can be the deciding factor in getting hired. The halo effect also plays a role. If we see one positive trait, like a friendly smile, we tend to assume other positive qualities. This is why someone who smiles a lot is often seen as more trustworthy. However, this can also lead to biases. For example, an attractive person might be seen as more competent, even if there's no evidence to support this. Interestingly, our first impressions are not always accurate. Studies show that we often misjudge people based on stereotypes or limited information. Yet, changing a first impression can be tough. Once we form an opinion, we tend to look for information that confirms it, a phenomenon known as confirmation bias. To make a great first impression, focus on body language. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, and offer a firm handshake. These small actions can convey confidence and openness. Smiling also goes a long way. People naturally respond to warmth and friendliness. Remember, first impressions aren't just about looks. What you say and how you say it matters too. Speak clearly and show genuine interest in the other person. Ask open-ended questions to keep the conversation flowing. In social situations, mirroring can help build rapport. This means subtly mimicking the other person's gestures and posture. It creates a sense of connection and trust. However, be natural about it. Overdoing it can seem insincere. Another tip is to find common ground. Shared interests or experiences can create a bond. This is why small talk about the weather or current events is effective. It helps find a common starting point for deeper conversations. Finally, be yourself. Authenticity is key to making a lasting positive impression. People appreciate genuineness and are more likely to connect with you. As Oscar Wilde said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." 2. Mirror neurons. The secret behind empathy. Have you ever felt someone's pain just by watching them? That's your mirror neurons at work. These brain cells fire both when we act and when we see others act. They play a crucial role in empathy, allowing us to understand and share others' feelings. Mirror neurons were first discovered in the 1990s by neuroscientists in Italy. They found that the same neurons activated in monkeys when they performed an action and when they saw another monkey do the same action. This discovery revolutionized our understanding of social behavior. In humans, mirror neurons are linked to our ability to empathize. When you see someone smile, your mirror neurons fire as if you're smiling too. This helps you understand their emotions. It's why watching a sad movie can make you cry, even though you know it's not real. These neurons are also important for learning. Children learn by watching and imitating others. This is why role models are so influential. When kids see their parents or peers perform a task, their mirror neurons help them replicate it. This process is essential for developing social skills and understanding social norms. Research shows that people with higher empathy have more active mirror neurons. For example, a study at the University of California, Los Angeles, found that people who scored high on empathy tests had greater mirror neuron activity when watching others in distress. Mirror neurons also explain why we can catch emotions from others. Have you noticed how laughter can be contagious? That's because your mirror neurons fire when you hear someone laugh, making you feel like laughing too. This shared emotional experience strengthens social bonds. Interestingly, mirror neurons might play a role in autism. Some studies suggest that individuals with autism have less active mirror neurons, which could explain their challenges with social interactions and empathy. To enhance your empathy, practice active listening. Pay close attention to what others are saying and how they're feeling. Reflect on their emotions and try to understand their perspective. This activates your mirror neurons and strengthens your ability to empathize. Another way to boost empathy is through mindfulness. Mindfulness exercises help you become more aware of your own emotions and those of others. This heightened awareness can enhance your mirror neuron activity, making you more empathetic. Finally, engage in regular social interactions. The more you connect with others, the better your mirror neurons function. Volunteering, joining clubs, or simply spending time with friends and family can all improve your social and empathetic skills. 3. The power of nonverbal communication. Reading hidden signals. Did you know that 93% of communication is nonverbal? It's true. Body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice often convey more than words. Understanding these signals can give you an edge in social interactions. Dr. Albert Mehrabian, a pioneer in body language research, found that 55% of communication is through body language, 38% through tone of voice, and only 7% through words. This means that how you say something can be more important than what you say. For example, crossed arms can indicate defensiveness or discomfort. On the other hand, open body language, like uncrossed arms and legs, shows openness and confidence. Eye contact is another powerful nonverbal cue. It signals attention and interest. However, too much eye contact can seem aggressive, while too little can seem disinterested. Facial expressions are also key. A genuine smile, known as a Duchenne smile, involves the eyes and mouth and conveys true happiness. In contrast, a fake smile only involves the mouth. People are surprisingly good at distinguishing between the two. Tone of voice is another critical element. Your tone can reveal your true feelings, even if your words say otherwise. A warm, friendly tone builds rapport, while a cold, monotone voice can create distance. To read nonverbal signals, pay attention to clusters of behaviors. One gesture might not mean much, but several together can provide clear insight. For instance, someone might scratch their nose, shift their weight, and avoid eye contact. These combined signals can suggest they're uncomfortable or hiding something. Cultural differences also play a role in nonverbal communication. For example, in some cultures, direct eye contact is a sign of respect, while in others, it can be seen as rude. Understanding these differences is crucial in a multicultural world. Improving your nonverbal communication can enhance your social skills. Start by becoming more aware of your own body language. Practice open, confident postures and maintain appropriate eye contact. Record yourself speaking and review your tone and gestures. In conversations, mirror the other person's body language subtly. This can create a sense of connection and mutual understanding. However, be mindful not to mimic too closely, as this can seem insincere. Also, pay attention to the context. A gesture that's appropriate in one situation might not be in another. For example, casual body language might be fine with friends but not in a formal meeting. As Joe Navarro, a former FBI agent and expert in nonverbal communication, says, "Everything we do sends a message." Being aware of these messages and interpreting them correctly can greatly improve your communication skills. 4. Cognitive biases, the invisible puppeteers of our decisions. Ever wonder why you keep making the same mistakes? Cognitive biases might be to blame. These mental shortcuts help us make decisions quickly but can lead us astray. One common bias is confirmation bias. It's our tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms our preconceptions. For example, if you believe a certain diet is healthy, you'll likely pay more attention to studies supporting that view and ignore contrary evidence. This bias can reinforce wrong beliefs and hinder learning. Anchoring is another powerful bias. It happens when we rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive. In a classic study by Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman, participants were influenced by a random number when estimating the percentage of African countries in the UN. Those given a high number guessed higher percentages, showing how initial information can skew our judgments. Availability bias is the tendency to overestimate the importance of information that is readily available. For example, after hearing about a plane crash, you might overestimate the danger of flying, despite it being one of the safest modes of transport. This bias can distort our perception of risks and benefits. Another interesting bias is the Dunning-Kruger effect. This is where people with low ability at a task overestimate their ability. As Charles Darwin said, ignorance more frequently begets confidence than does knowledge. This effect explains why unskilled individuals often feel more confident than experts. To counteract cognitive biases, we need to be aware of them. Start by questioning your assumptions. Are you only seeking information that supports your beliefs? Try to look for opposing views and consider them objectively. Another strategy is to slow down your decision-making process. Cognitive biases often occur because we make quick judgments. Taking time to reflect can help you spot potential biases. For example, if you're negotiating a salary, don't accept the first offer. Consider the market rate and your value to the company. Seeking feedback from others can also help. We're often blind to our own biases, but others can provide a different perspective. Discussing your decisions with trusted friends or colleagues can reveal biases you might not notice. Additionally, consider using decision aids like checklists or algorithms. These tools can help reduce the influence of biases by providing a structured approach to decision-making. For instance, doctors use checklists to ensure they consider all symptoms before diagnosing a patient. Finally, educate yourself about common cognitive biases. Books like Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman provide insights into how these biases work and how to mitigate them. As Kahneman states, we are blind to our blindness. 5. The dopamine effect: craving, reward, and addiction. Why do we chase after rewards? The answer lies in our brain's reward system, particularly the role of dopamine. This neurotransmitter drives our motivation and desire for pleasure. Dopamine is often called the feel-good chemical. It's released when we experience something enjoyable, like eating our favorite food or winning a game. This release creates a sense of pleasure and reinforces the behavior, making us want to repeat it. However, dopamine's role is more about wanting than liking. It motivates us to pursue rewards, whether they're good or bad. For example, dopamine spikes when we anticipate a reward, not just when we receive it. This is why we often find ourselves craving things before we even have them. Addiction is a clear example of the dopamine effect. Drugs like cocaine and methamphetamine flood the brain with dopamine, creating intense pleasure. Over time, the brain's reward system becomes hijacked, leading to compulsive drug-seeking behavior. This is why breaking an addiction is so challenging. Interestingly, dopamine is also linked to everyday habits. Studies show that social media triggers dopamine release, which is why we keep checking our phones for notifications. This constant cycle of anticipation and reward can lead to addictive behaviors. To manage the dopamine effect, it's important to set healthy boundaries. Limit activities that provide instant gratification, like social media or junk food. Instead, focus on long-term rewards, such as exercising or learning a new skill. Mindfulness can also help. By becoming more aware of your cravings, you can make conscious choices rather than reacting impulsively. Techniques like meditation can reduce the power of dopamine-driven urges by promoting a sense of calm and control. Another strategy is to create positive habits that naturally boost dopamine. Regular exercise, for instance, increases dopamine levels and improves mood. Engaging in creative activities like painting or playing music can also enhance dopamine production. Additionally, balance is key. It's fine to enjoy pleasurable activities, but moderation is crucial. Overindulgence can lead to desensitization, where more of the activity is needed to achieve the same level of pleasure. This is similar to how tolerance develops in drug addiction. As Dr. Anna Lemke explains in her book, Dopamine Nation, understanding the role of dopamine in our lives can help us find balance and avoid the pitfalls of addiction. By being mindful of our behaviors and making intentional choices, we can harness the power of dopamine for positive change.